Welcome back to SheCan, where role models inspire by telling their stories, by sharing their insights and lived experiences to guide others. And I'm so excited to be talking to Kate Marsh-Lord and Erin Fengman today. Welcome to SheCan, Kate and Erin. You are the co-founders of the Little Blue Card, which connects conscious consumers and progressive small businesses. And since launching in January of this year, 2025, it has grown into an amazing community with over 50,000 shoppers, topping 2 million per month. You feature hundreds of small value-driven businesses, and hundreds more are queuing up to join you in your directory. You make shopping small feel powerful and a vote for the future we want. Kate and Erin, tell us a bit more about the two of you and pivotal points along your journeys that got you to where you are today.
You want to start, Erin?
Oh, me? Okay. I have not always been conscious about my political views and cared where I shopped. I was always, I shopped where I wanted to, and I, felt like everybody's political views were their own, and we pretty much all believe the same thing with a little bit of, variances. And that all changed in 2016. During the election with Trump and Hillary Clinton. And I did some exploring as to why that was such a big election cycle. And having Kate as a friend who I met in Misawa, Japan, around 2015, 2016, I think. And she is an amazing woman who is very vocal about her political opinions and why. She doesn't just have them, she shares the why, and I think that that's very admirable, and it's a great way to educate people on why it's important that we vote and where our votes matter. So I since then, 2016, I've been more of an advocate. With her help, of course, along the way, she's gotten me involved in articles, giving an interview with New York Times, but protesting, teaching others. It doesn't have to be a big decision, a big thing, a big action, excuse me, to make a big impact. But just lots of little actions with a group of people can make a bigger impact. And I think that that's a great way how Little Blue Cart works as well. We're all individual people, but together we're making a big impact with shopping.
Yeah. Kate, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you again for inviting us on so we could tell our story, because it really, it's born out of, like Erin said, our deep friendship that we've had for a long time as military spouses. We've moved around the world since meeting in Japan, and we found ourselves back in Virginia together for the last couple of years before Erin went up and moved and left me here. Um, but seeing Erin's transition really sort of, the election in 2016 really for like seeing her change and really like become an advocate for herself and her girls and her family has been amazing. It's been really inspiring, and it's so fun to be her friend in that way, and to just watch her growth and change. And that whole idea that like, oh, people never change, it's just not true. Like, we know that when people are open to different ideas and hear different experiences, they do change. And so one of the things that we're trying to do with Little Blue Cart is bring that idea that like little changes that you make at home, little changes in your shopping habits, like Erin said, can add up to a big impact. And so this idea sparked from a conversation between Erin and I about hiring a photographer for senior pictures for our kids. And, really after the 2024 election, and Erin said, I loved your photos, but I'm not going to hire that photographer if they voted for Trump. Do you know how they voted? And I said, I happen to know how they voted, and it was not for Trump. So here's her number. And that really was the spark where we thought, we can't be the only people feeling this way. Like we've protested, we've voted, we've done all the right things, and it still feels like it's snowballing out of control. And so how we spend our money is one way that we have complete control over. We can decide who gets our hard-earned dollars. And it does not have to be people who A, don't believe in the shared future that we believe in, B, don't, are just billionaires who are spending their money on $50 million weddings. It can be people who have shared values, who have the same beliefs, and who really, that $25 purchase will make their day, will literally change the course of their day from like, yay, we got a new customer, a new business. And so not only do we think it's a great, it's great for voicing our opinions and for making a statement about where our money goes, but it's great to support small businesses, which is what we're really passionate about.
Kate and Erin, I want to give you a massive shout out because when I came across you through the Katie Courage Media, you have experienced a meteoric rise in the last months and you've only started in January. You were two friends who you were military spouses who met in Japan and had then in 2016 and again, last year, your beliefs were so challenged that you wanted to do something that would basically put the world the right side up for the two of you, right? Your families, your children, but then swept up a whole big community that now benefits from it. And you make sure that people understand that every penny that we spend, and women have the majority of the spending power, and we all know that we know where this money goes, who we give it to, and this is in our wheelhouse of possibilities, i.e. every single household can take those decisions and you make it very intentional. So tell us a little bit more when you thought we're onto something, right? You had this idea, you started with a small directory, you now have a massive queue, you got a large following immediately. Tell us a little bit the moment that you thought we're really onto something, and how are you now both in the position where you think we are on this cannonball, it's a very powerful cannonball, let's really make this work.
I'll start and I'll let Kate finish up. I think that in that conversation when we initiate, the initial speaking about the impact of choosing a small business that is aligned with our beliefs, we just were like, we cannot be the only ones that feel this way. And it just was an epiphany because it grew so organically. And as we sat down and we're like, okay, let's do this, because this is for no other reason. It would be a support where we felt we had some control over something, because first we all realized that during the administration, we were going to feel hopeless. Yeah. And we wanted to give hope to people. And so Kate and I, it did not take long. We just knew that we could not be the only ones that felt this way. And the more that we just kept throwing our ideas out there about what we could do, and then realizing that there's over 30 million small business owners across the United States, it will be a ripple effect. We will catch on and let everybody know that this is a resource for them to be able to help support each other, find like-minded people.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. And, there have been a couple, I feel like there have been sort of these massive growth points over the past couple of months where it's like, oh my gosh, we are really doing this. Like it's really happening. Like, it's taken off. And like Erin said, we knew we weren't the only ones who felt this way, who were just, from the minute this administration took over, probably from the minute of the election results being announced, it was, a sense of dread. And so throwing ourselves into this project gave us something to do and a way to channel our frustration and our anger in a way that felt really tangible. And so, like Erin said, it's been nice to give hope to other people to find this community. And that has been one of the most rewarding things that I don't think I anticipated or saw coming, is just the way the small business owners lift one another up on our comments and our emails and, on social media. That has been incredibly rewarding. But you mentioned Katie Couric, and that was one of those like, oh my gosh, this is, the feedback is amazing. As soon as we're introduced to new audiences, there's this whole new group of people that are like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I've been looking for, or this is amazing. It's a great alternative to help me find small businesses who I can support. Or I didn't even know I needed this, but this is exactly, this will help me so much find a random, teacher gift for the start of the new school year. So every time we come to these decision points, or these big sort of, massive growth points where we do make that decision. Okay, what's the next step? Are we going to invest our savings? Like, how are we going to grow? Because we do feel, a big sense of responsibility. Like it's incredibly rewarding to see it grow so much, but it also feels like, we owe it to this community to do it the right way. We owe it to the small business owners who have listed with us and who have put their faith in us to make sure we're doing it responsibly and to deliver them consumers who will shop and support them. So it's incredibly rewarding and exciting, but it also feels really overwhelming.
Slightly daunting at this stage. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because you have such an incredibly meteoric rise, right? And in such a short amount of time. Kate and Erin, how are you handling this moment? Once you've been on this, Katie Couric is a massive media mogul, and she's incredible for putting important messages out there. How are you going to scale your little blue card to be really functioning for a much broader audience?
Well, we're continuing to grow. We're, the whole point is just trying to maintain that growth, not have the spurts and then just kind of plateau. So with that is the growth of Little Blue Card, the directory, as well as creating a marketplace for the small businesses. So like Kate was saying, right now we're limited by our own funds because we are self-funded. Though we just recently did the most awkward thing, which was to ask for donations. We are not ones to do that. And so, but yeah, we are doing everything that we can, that we know of, to keep this exciting for everybody and the best growth potential for their businesses, because that's what this is all about, is helping other people grow and financially support themselves through this process. So just finding growth opportunities for Little Blue Cart to be able to get the word out. We're constantly posting, trying to share the businesses as they join the platform and give them an opportunity to be, seen in front of the hundreds of thousands of people that visit the site every day.
Yeah. So yeah, our first major upgrade is expanding the directory. So right now, we just are people can come and find, this time of year, look for kids' clothes or notebooks, things like that. So we are just improving the search capability on the website and the business listings themselves, like the control that the small businesses have over the listings. So that's our first phase. And then, like Erin mentioned, we are hoping in the next couple months, certainly this fall, to launch our own Little Blue Cart Market, so that the businesses listed can actually sell directly from us rather than sending consumers to their websites. We'll be able to be a hub where shoppers can shop multiple of our listed businesses at one time. So we think that will be a huge convenient factor. It'll make it a lot easier for folks to, like I said, shop multiple small businesses at once. And of course, we'll continue to host. We also provide list service providers. So like Erin and I started this about a photographer. So we think there's huge growth potential in listing, those local businesses that you need, whether it's a plumber, a hairdresser, a photographer. I mean, there's so much opportunity to provide that directory. So we really hope to just, continue to grow steadily, get more audience, like a bigger audience, a bigger shopping audience, and of course, continue to grow the businesses. Because it really, it's a little bit of a leap of faith for folks to join our website. It's perfectly free to join the directory, but, when we do the market or we have expanded listings opportunities, that, does cost the small businesses money. And so we don't take that investment in us lightly. It really means a lot to us to continue to grow and make sure we're providing a good resource for them as well as for consumers.
Kate and Erin, so tell me a little bit more about this financial model that's behind it. You obviously have to generate funds. I mean, you're doing an incredible service for the greater good, and we love seeing that. And it's very important in this day and age where we're so divided. And that is not just in America, right? Because whatever happens in America is also impacting all of us abroad. It's very important that really, and I find that is maybe the first time in our lifetimes, or in my lifetimes, in the beginning of my 50s, I've never had the feeling as much as I do now that I need to stand up for my values, my voice. I need to really be behind what I believe is the right thing to do, not just as a mother and a business owner, but really beyond that, and make sure that we are the bridge builders, that we are seeing and hearing each other, and really trying to bring across that notion that you have to have an opinion in this day and age. So tell us a little bit more about that whole amazing, it fits into that big picture, but what is the underpinning sort of admin and financial way that you're going to make this work?
Yeah. So first of all, totally agree. And we, as military spouses for a long time, we are told, be apolitical. You can't say what you think. And I think in some ways, small business owners felt the same way. Like, oh, I don't want to alienate anyone. I don't want to make someone mad. I don't want to lose customers. But the truth is, your customers want to know that you're a good person. Like customers like Erin and I and you and everyone in our community, we want to spend money with people who we know share those really, what we see as our really core values. And being a good human is good for business. And so don't be shy to share your values with your customers, because the right customers will want to spend money with you. So with that all in mind, right now our main sources of revenue are, we have our own Little Blue Cart merch. So we have just some, totes, very on brand, obviously the shopping tote. And so those support the mission, obviously. And then we also offer some upgraded options for businesses listed in the directory right now. So, it's free to join the directory, but if you want an upgraded listing, or you want some special social media content, those sort of things, we do offer those packages. And so that also helps support us. And then, as Erin mentioned, last week we launched a summer fundraising drive to help grow Little Blue Cart. Like, we have these plans, we're going to do it, but every little bit helps us do it a little bit more financially soundly, basically. So like Erin mentioned, it was totally awkward to say, we're going to do this. And right now we're just digging into our savings. And so every little bit helps us be able to just, be a little bit more financially secure. Because as you mentioned, I've mentioned it multiple times at this point, especially when we launch the market, it won't just be about Erin and I, it will be about everyone, all the business owners who, will invest to be on that market. So it is really important to us that we remain financially responsible. And to this point, every single dollar that we have raised has gone right back in to growing, whether it's the infrastructure on the back end, paying our web developer, paying our mailing list, like all, it goes right back into it. And we love doing it. We're doing it because we love it and we believe in it. And so it is really rewarding, but, hopefully, like every entrepreneur, maybe, 5-10 years down the road, it would be lovely if it would buy us some coffee every once in a while. I'm not going to say we don't ever want to earn some income for ourselves, but at this point we're not, and that, that's just fine. But down the road, fingers crossed, when we continue to grow, we'll be able to take ourselves out to dinner every once in a while.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll do a lot more than that, Kate and Erin, because I really feel that you're sitting on something very important and very big. And so everyone who's listening, if this resonates, you are asked to financially contribute to the Little Blue Card now, and we will put a link in your bio. Now, tell us a little bit about that community feedback, both from shoppers and from vendors. What is the feedback that you're getting, the overwhelming feedback?
The overwhelming feedback is thanks and appreciation and excitement. And I can tell you that every single time we see a message, and it's every day, we get them every day, whether it's an email, it's a tag, it's a comment on a post. It is so exciting. Kate and I, it doesn't get old. I know that sounds so cliche-ish, but it is so amazing to sit there and read the feedback. Oh my gosh, the most exciting ones are like talking about how they've noticed an increase of business, or I got my first official Little Blue Cart sale, where the customer, because we don't know at this point with the directory, we never know who's buying. It is completely out of our hands. We're simply a directory. So we love to hear people expressing their excitement over having a sale through Little Blue Cart. So honestly, that has just been the biggest thing. And then I'll be honest, it is amazing to see, celebrities. Oh my gosh, when Katie Couric liked our post, we were just beside ourselves with excitement. I mean, just the simple like, we were over the moon. So everything just shows validity to what we're doing when we hear those types of feedback. So
yeah, it's no exaggeration that our phones are full of screenshots of like, someone who liked a post, or a comment from someone saying, I found my new favorite shop on your website, and I placed my first order. Like, we screenshot them, send them back and forth, and just giggle. Like, it doesn't get old. It really is amazing. And hearing too that different businesses are finding and using each other is really cool and rewarding. That they themselves are finding web developers or designers, or a new piece of jewelry from someone also on our list on the directory is really neat. Yeah.
I would like, sorry, you go.
I'm sorry.
You go, Erin.
I said, well, that's how we found our web developer, was on Little Blue Cart.
Yeah, amazing. I want everyone who's listening, if you have a PR company, take them on pro bono. If you work for a TV station, a radio station, give them some free PR. You need a lot of free PR, and you should be getting it, because you're not only representing shoppers or small businesses, you're representing something much bigger, and that is pulling the same string for the greater good, for democracy to prevail, and you're putting money behind it. And that to me is so powerful. So everyone who could do something here for the Little Blue Cart, I want you to get in touch with Kate and Erin. So how do you ensure that the right companies are listed? What is your vetting process?
I'll go. So far we found it really is pretty self-selective. We ask for customers, if they have a favorite small business, they can nominate them. And then we follow up directly with the small business and say, one of your customers thinks you'd be a great fit. Here's where we stand. Here are our value statements. If you agree with this, we'd love to hear more from you. And then obviously small businesses can submit themselves to our queue. And again, they have to agree to our business, our terms, which are, we believe in democracy, we believe in women's rights, we believe in LGBTQ rights, we believe Black Lives Matter. I mean, just, what we consider being a basic, decent human being at this point in time. But if any of that is a no-go, then they are not welcome. And businesses agree to that, those standards. And then obviously, as we're building their listing, we follow up, we check out their website, we have their social media links. So far it's been, like I said, a very self-selective process. We haven't run into any imposters, because, unfortunately, just folks are really divided. I can't see anyone who is MAGA trying to infiltrate us and be associated with two raging liberals who all we do is talk about how much we do not like Donald Trump, and that we're using our money to fight against his agenda at every opportunity. So, but we really do want to ensure, that it is a safe community, not only for our shoppers, but for the other businesses. Like, we would never want, someone to be listed on our directory next to a company selling alligator Alcatraz merch. Like, that would never happen. We're not going to allow it, because businesses deserve better than that. So we, that's basically how we do it. And we are growing faster than we can keep up with the demand to add businesses to the website, because we do take time to make sure that everyone is who they say they are. So But yeah, it's been really rewarding. It's been so neat to see all the different kinds of businesses that have joined.
So what will success look like for you?
I'll be honest with you. I feel successful at this point. I just think that everything that we've done has been done with the right purpose and heart and meaning and thought. And I just feel that I think it's complete success at this point, but I would love for it to grow. That's our only desire, is for it to grow and have a way of just at least paying for itself at some point, so that we can, you know, just that one caveat. But everything, I mean, I just honestly, I just want to see other people be able to appreciate it as well. And that's the only part that we're just trying to get constantly, is just the growth for other people to join us on this adventure. So I honestly, I just feel like we've hit the jackpot and we're super successful.
You're definitely crushing it. Kate and Erin, so what do you feel matters to you most? How do you want to matter? You know, if you think, if this is going to go the way you think it's going to go, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh my gosh. That we never gave up, that we never lost hope, that we never stopped fighting.
Yep.
For it's so cheesy, but for the promise of America. Like, we know that this is not what it's supposed to look like. We are not, my daughter is not meant to have less rights than I did. This is not what we are supposed to be doing. This is not the path that our country is meant to be on. So I just hope our legacy, both as owners of Little Blue Cart and as mothers, is that we didn't give up. We maintained our hope and we just kept fighting.
Yeah.
I say the exact same thing. I want my children to know that I did everything I knew to do, and I fought as hard as I could for them and other people's children. It's certainly not about just my children. They were the catalyst, but for everybody's children, the Black, brown communities. I just feel like as white women, it is our responsibility to speak up, and do our part. We have sat back, as Kate spoke earlier. As military wives, we were not allowed to speak. We're really still, I don't believe, really allowed to speak, but we can't sit back and be quiet anymore. And it's really, really important that we do everything that we know to do to just fight.
Yeah, and you do that so incredibly well. I mean, I look at you and I'm just proud of women everywhere, because yeah, you make an unbelievably compelling proposition, and it's a business proposition. And I always think, we can talk about political beliefs until the cows come home, but when it's a business proposition and it works, that is even more compelling than just sharing our views.
Yeah.
What do you feel needs to happen before the midterms? What would you like to see? You are obviously trying to be part of a solution, right? What needs to happen for this reality that we all live in, because it's not just the people in America. We just had a meeting with Keir Starmer and von der Leyen in Scotland, and they were both, I mean, because of these looming terrible tariffs that he's bullying everyone around the world with. I mean, Mrs. von der Leyen, who's really an unbelievably bright woman and has got, decades of experience on the global political and business stage, she didn't even say anything to back at him. And it's the scariest thing. We're at a point of no return. I do not know what to say to my grown-up children anymore, mostly grown-up children anymore, because it's so crazy. What do we need to see? What is every one of us able to do?
Yeah. I think from politicians, for example, first and foremost, we need to see more people like the Democrats in Texas who fled the state so that their legislature wouldn't have quorum to basically steal um, House seats. They said we're not going to be a part of it, and I think for too long, a lot of politicians have just not taken the threat seriously, right? So they've
Mm.
just gone along, they've confirmed people who had no business being confirmed. They've done business as usual. But like you said, this isn't business as usual anymore. So every opportunity, I think, to model the fight that we need to have, to model resistance, politicians need to push back at every single opportunity. I don't care if they talk bad about you on Fox News and people think these politicians are just being difficult. Be difficult. Like it's just, we need them to do that. And I think that will help model for folks that this isn't inevitable, that we can fight back. And then I think people need to be, I still don't believe that folks who don't support this, I don't think we're in the minority in the United States. So if we actually get out and vote, we will win elections. So
Mm.
people just can't grow complacent. You can't grow or think it doesn't matter. Like obviously we think every little thing you do can matter. Every little action can have an impact. So whether it's voting in a primary, voting on election day, not shopping at Target, each of those actions can add up to change. So we just can't give up. We have to keep fighting. And I really, really believe there are more good people who believe that we're on the wrong path. Um, I just hope all these people will take it seriously, take the threat seriously, and push back at every opportunity. Don't let any little thing slide because it will become it's like every little inch they take turns
Yeah.
into a mile, and we just can't let them take anything without a fight.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think you're harnessing something that we as
Mm.
consumers, right? We have power as consumers. We can decide every single penny that leaves our wallet where we're
Mhm.
going to put that. And that is incredible power. And that I'm so excited about for the
Mhm.
two of you. What do you foresee, or what are your challenges at the
Mhm.
moment? You need to make more money to grow. What other challenges do you have?
We have challenges of just being women that are not cool, and our ability to do social media is very awkward, at least for me. I will speak for myself. I was never on social media before this. I mean, I would post my children every so often, but never put myself out there. So for
Mhm.
me personally, it is very much getting out there and doing the correct content that are that is appealing to folks, um, without looking completely awkward doing it. So,
Yeah.
you
To
know,
Erin's point, all of our growth has been in 100% organic. We haven't paid for a thing. So it has been all on social media and growth. And so that has required us to put ourselves out there a little bit. And, as the faces of Little Blue Cart, that's sort of what we have signed up for. But yeah, so right now we call them our interns, and that's our teenage kids. So, like, will you help film? What are the words we should say? To try and um, to expand to a broader audience, because as middle-aged women, we do have the spending power. We are a great audience. Are people who are like us is a great audience, but to have real growth and success, obviously, we need to appeal to a broader audience. So,
Yes, and we are all in the same boat. I mean, it's the most uncomfortable thing in the world to have to do. And I always think I have to be on TikTok. I need to reach younger girls. This is really made for them. And I am very reticent to do the TikTok dances and be out there as a 53-year-old mom of three. I literally think, no, cannot be happening. But then I listen to so many episodes of amazing podcasts, and I think, no, if this is the uncomfortableness we need to go through, we're just going to do it, because it's not to our benefit, it's to a greater cause. And this is what we have to have in mind. If this is a little bit of uncomfortableness of putting ourselves out there, let's just do it and not even think about it as a challenge anymore, because then we are belittling ourselves. And actually, no, you've got the power. You both are incredibly cool for doing that. And we just need to jump over the shadow and just do it. So what kind of a leader would you like to be, or are you? How do you two want to show up with this incredible venture?
If I could, I think one area where one of our, like, a weakness, in addition to the fact that social media is awkward, is that it is just the two of us, and we are white, middle-aged women married to men, so I think one way that we could grow and be better leaders is when we are able to, I would love for us to be able to hire help and to grow our audience, or to grow our team, to grow the whole thing, and to have someone who literally can just do outreach to make sure we have more Black owned businesses, to make sure we have more, BIPOC businesses in general listed. I think that's one weakness that we have right now. So I would love to be a leader. I think we both just want to be inclusive, approachable. I love when we get emails from folks with nice positive feedback and/or, gentle criticisms, because they're our users. It helps us grow. So I think that we have done a really good job of being open to that feedback so far, and I hope that we continue to do that and continue to grow and adapt to the needs of both the businesses and the consumers that we hope to serve. So yeah, it's weird to think of us as, I don't know, it's weird to think about being a leader in this sense,
Everybody thinks that's weird, but but you are leading by example for something very powerful with a very big vision.
Thank you.
Kate and Erin, tell us your plans. So this has been a really fast rise. What is the rest of the year looking like for you? How do you see this grow over the next couple of years?
I just see it continuing to do exactly what it's doing, just, doubling every couple of months, the followers, the business owners, the people that are joining our newsletter, just growing. I mean, that's all we could ask for, is just awareness, and then having the small businesses being connected with like-minded shoppers. I don't know beyond that at this point. It would be something attainable, because we are just so focused and busy on doing just those things.
Yeah, it's going to be a big second half of the year, I'm thinking about where we come just since we launched. But we have so many upgrades and web, new options coming out in the second half of the year. It's going to be really exciting. So I'm just hopeful that it all goes without too many hiccups, and that we can just keep our growth, steady growth, and continue to provide valuable resource to shoppers, and to be a great resource for businesses who are looking for another place to list and sell, and know that they are, that their shoppers will be folks who really believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, they'll be an excellent company. Kate and Erin, if you had a magic wand, what would you need, do you think? If you just had sort of a blanket check and here, what do you need now, right now, to grow?
Kate?
Money.
Just that,
money.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, we could because we could get help, Like
Yeah.
right now, and I have to say, people have been incredibly generous with their time. Like you, sharing your platform is incredibly generous. And folks who are shoppers or business owners listed on Little Blue Cart have been incredibly generous with their time to meet with us and offer advice and suggestions and on everything from the website to user experience. And I mean, these are all areas we know we need to grow and improve. Absolutely. We started on a shoestring at my kitchen table. So it was not built to be the platform as big as it is already, so we need to scale, and that requires investment and people. And our web developer has a great team who are going to be incredibly helpful as we transition. But yeah, having resources to improve our platform and to bring on folks to help, do all of the work. Because it's only, as we grow, it's just more and more work, and it's not, we need to sleep every once
Sustainable.
in a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
What I love about you both is that you weren't looking for perfection. You were trying to get
Mhm.
something out there, as imperfect as it is, and you put it out there and you had this incredible growth. And I think that's an unbelievably important thing for anyone who wants to do anything, right? It's not waiting for the point where all your ducks line up in a row. You start with your 2.5 ducks in the wrong position. It doesn't matter. And you just go for it. And then you go from there. And the same thing we see at SheCan, right? We thought, maybe no one's going to be interested in this sort of everyday role models. And exactly because the degree of separation is so small between us everyday people and other everyday people, this is actually so inspiring. And we still love all the important and famous role models out in the world, and we want them all to feature. But really, the power comes from everyday people. And you see that in your community. Your shoppers want to shop from people that they are aligned with, and people want to sell to people. It is still that people matter. It's not that some algorithm, sorts it all out. It's still a people's business. And we want to be sure that we are doing business with people that we are aligned with in this day and age, where it's so important to make sure that people know what that is, and that we, as you said earlier, fight for what we believe in. So, what would the two of you like for our listeners to take away from your story?
We're just two normal, ordinary women who genuinely love our country. We adore our families. We want the same for everyone that we believe that we deserve ourselves. And we just feel like everybody should have the same opportunities. That is not our world we live in right now. And we're going to do everything that we can to support those that are just being kind of pushed down, and made to not feel like they matter. Their voices matter. Their dollars don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. Like, all of that matters. And we want to make sure that they feel validated, heard, and supported.
And I would just add, like Erin said, we're two very normal, your average women. And if we can use our voices to make a small incremental change, literally anyone can. You don't have to wake up in the morning and, I don't know, launch $1 billion business to make a difference. You can make a difference every single day of your life by using your voice, for standing up for what you believe in, by choosing where you spend your money. We all have way more power than we think we do. And we've been led to believe that it doesn't matter how we vote, or it doesn't matter. And that's not true. Like, we all matter, and we all have way more power than we think we do. Especially if we work together, and every little action of each person, when you're together, it makes a much bigger action. So just don't give up and believe the lies that what you're doing doesn't make a difference.
Kate and Erin, I'm so grateful for the two of you, for everything that you are and do. And I'm so grateful for you to be on SheCan. We are going to promote you at every little corner, every step of the way. We want to promote you because we feel this is really an incredible solution for the times that we live in. And you're incredible role models to be leading with this integrity and that beautiful humanness that you both have. And I I'm so excited to watch you, and I'm so excited to keep watching you. So thank you so much for everything that you do and for leading so beautifully, which is a thing that's really hard to come by these days.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Your words are so generous, and we appreciate them very much. It's very kind.